Hi, welcome. I'm Ken Butler, the Executive Director of MMAS, the Black Box Theater and Marini Gallery, located right here in Mansfield.
And I'm Julie Klein, Development Director.
You know, we both know our titles, but don't reflect the reality of what we do. We wear many hats at MMAS, from ticket sales to publicity, art directors, set building, grant writing, tour guides, and gallery curator. My dad calls me the chief cook and bottle washer.
Yep. But that's the reality of being a nonprofit organization, which is why we're sitting here today.
Yeah.
To ask you, the viewers, to give to our 2015 annual campaign.
Yeah, it's important to note that ticket sales from our plays only cover about 60% of our operating costs at MMAS.
Yeah.
And the rest comes from our business sponsors, from grants and organizations such as the Massachusetts Cultural Council, the Mansfield Gift Fund, the Mansfield Bank Charitable Foundation, and also the Staples Foundation.
Yep.
But there's a big gap between all of that income and what our ticket sales and what we need to make to cover our overhead.
Right. So we also count on the people who are arts lovers and supporters. You know, Ken, it's hard to believe that this organization is in its 23rd year.
I can remember back to that first day at my house when MMS was just an idea, and we passed around a blue Maxwell House coffee can, and when it came to me, there was $8 in the can, and I thought, I don't know how this is going to go, how we're going to do this.
How are you going to do this? Well, I'd say hard work, dedication, vision, and a lot of sweat. And not to mention 3 moves. But now we have a 76-seat theater, and we stage 7 to 9 shows each season, along with showcasing art from both emerging and established artists in the Marini Gallery. It's pretty impressive. And we get 7,000 to 9,000 people walking through our door every single year.
Yeah, and between all those shows, there's open mic nights, there's concerts, events, and just other events with children and educational programs. So, you know, every day I can see how MS touches people in different ways. And I can remember a story, you know, years ago, we had a summer program, and this mother contacted me about her daughter being very shy, and she's hoping that the theater program might help her. And so I told her all the different things that I thought theater could do to help her with confidence and focusing in school and getting over shyness, which I was a very shy kid. And at the end of the summer, she called and she said to me, you know, my daughter's now in school and she's auditioning for plays and she's getting involved with other clubs, and the teachers all noticed something very different about her, and that she thanked me for giving her a new daughter and for helping her daughter find her voice. And those type of stories are why we do it.
Yeah, amazing. Well, what about the woman in the improv class?
Right.
She was recovering from a stroke and had trouble speaking, so she was in speech therapy, and she came with a friend. She watched the rest of the group, and by the second class was up and participating. And at the end of the session, she went up to the instructor and said for the first time in months, she didn't have to stop and think about what she was going to say. She just spoke. She said it was very freeing. Yeah,
it's amazing what theater and music and arts can do to people. And, you know, some people come to shows, to see our shows, and they're so impressed, and they want to get involved with what we do behind the scenes, like Bruce Webster. He's a sound guy who helps with all our sound, and Liz Phillips, who helps stage manage, and she produces behind the scene, and she also acts and plays. And there's also Libby Kafka, a 91-year-old woman who comes every night to shows and is our hostess and helps hand out concessions, and she brings in stuff that she donates for the concessions. But these people all do it for their own personal reasons too, and how art touches them in their lives.
Yeah. And I think about the artist who displayed her work in the gallery, and during one exhibit she sold both her pieces that were hanging in the gallery, and she was so excited. It was her first sales, and she told me for the first time ever she finally felt like a professional artist because someone else had bought her work. And then, you know, there was the high school student who had exhibited and sold her work in our gallery, a high school student.
The gallery does so many things for new and emerging artists, and just the confidence in them, and then our audiences who come to see all these different artworks. And we've had that Mansfield High School AP Art History class for the last few years. Those students all got to see a lot of art and learn about art in a tactile way of seeing it and being part of it, you know. So that's neat. These are just a few of the stories over 23 years of MMS's history and our mission to enrich and to entertain, to educate, and to inspire. And that's what we do every day. And I hope that you can help us by giving generously to our annual campaign and helping us to reach our goal of $60,000. That's that gap that we need to fill in between what ticket sales and our sponsors can give us.
Right. And you can donate online at MMAS, that's MaryMaryApplesam.org, or send a check to MMAS at P.O. Box 1283 in Mansfield, or call us at 508-339-2822. And if you prefer, you can set up a monthly or quarterly pledge payments. We'll work with you on that. Your donation is completely tax deductible, so please give, because every dollar truly impacts our mission.
You know, it's so important because in the past 3 years, there have been many theater organizations and art organizations that have shut down for lack of support. And I can name a few right off the top of my head. We just got news at Starline, the Star Players of Taunton has closed down, and also Woodlawn and Attleboro. And we also see theaters, major established theaters that are having difficulty, like the Huntington and the Colonial Theater, that are losing their space because they rent somewhere else. And although our annual campaign has nothing to do with our capital campaign and a future plan that we want to have a theater of our own, your annual campaign helps us to fund our programming. So if you got one of these in the mail, please take the time, read the campaign brochure, and then send in your donation pledge. And if you didn't get one in the mail, visit the Mansfield Library or Mansfield Bank. They have them in their lobby, and you can help us. Because your donation, you can help us to help people who are actors and singers and writers and producers to find a home to hone their craft. And that's part of our mission. MMS thrives because of you. And we hope that you'll come and see one of our shows this season, the season of Dreamers and Rabble-Rousers and Survivors. And we thank you for your support, so please take one, fill it out, and get it back to us. So stop in and visit us someday and visit the gallery. We have lovely exhibits, and we're open weekly, Monday through Friday from 10 to 4, and evening and weekends by appointment.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.